Welcome to a journey that digs deep into the hidden stories behind coins we thought we knew so well. Today, I'm excited to kick off our exploration with a coin that at first glance might seem like just another piece of everyday change, but if you look a little closer, you'll discover it's a true gem of American numismatic history. I'm talking about the 1988 US quarter dollar. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a quarter, right? But as any seasoned collector will tell you, even a coin produced in a time when technology and precision were at their peak can surprise you with a twist of fate that transforms it into something extraordinary. Let's rewind to the late 1980s, a time when America was buzzing with change, and even the US Mint was quietly perfecting its craft. The Washington Quarter, featuring the timeless profile of George Washington, had long been a staple of American coinage. Its design had already stood the test of time, symbolizing the enduring legacy of our first president. But 1988 brought something unexpected. Amidst a sea of uniformly minted coins, a handful emerged with a subtle yet unmistakable misstrike that resulted in a delicate doubling of Washington's image. It wasn't a glaring mistake or a flashy error, it was more like a whisper of imperfection that only the most observant eyes could detect. This slight doubling effect, far from devaluing the coin, instead added a layer of rarity and mystique, turning what might have been seen as a production hiccup into a prized collectible. When you hold a 1988 quarter in your hand, the first thing that strikes you is the familiar visage of Washington, his profile, his determined gaze, and the finely detailed engraving that has become a hallmark of American coin design. But under closer inspection, particularly with a magnifying glass, you begin to notice that something is a bit different. The usually crisp lines of his portrait show a faint doubling, a subtle echo that hints at an unintentional misalignment during the minting process. It's a detail that escapes casual observation, yet for those in the know, it's like discovering a secret signature from the US Mint itself. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a rare occurrence that turns a modern coin into a conversation piece and a coveted item among serious collectors. Diving a little deeper into the background, it's fascinating to consider the context in which this coin was produced. By 1988, coin production had become a highly automated and precise process. The Mint had perfected techniques that ensured consistency and quality across millions of coins. And yet, even with all the state-of-the-art machinery at work, the human element, the tiniest miscalculation or a fleeting mechanical slip, could still sneak through. The 1988 quarter with its doubling effect is a perfect example of that phenomenon. It's a reminder that even in an era dominated by precision, nature has a way of introducing an unexpected twist. And in doing so, it gifts collectors with a rare variant that encapsulates both the technological progress of its time and the unpredictable charm of a happy accident. In terms of market value, this subtle anomaly has not gone unnoticed. Among circulated coins, a standard 1988 quarter might only command a small premium over face value. But when it comes to the misstrike variety, especially those preserved in near-perfect condition, the stakes change dramatically. Imagine coming across a coin that not only carries historical weight but also boasts an error so rare that its value can leap from modest to truly significant. In pristine mint state examples, graded in the MS-65 to MS-68 range, the doubling effect becomes a focal point for collectors, and auction records have seen these coins fetching several $1,000s. These figures aren't just numbers on a page, they represent the high regard in which this coin is held and the competitive spirit of the auction room, where every subtle detail can mean the difference between an ordinary find and a prized acquisition. But there's more to the 1988 quarter than just its market performance. The coin is steeped in intriguing stories and anecdotes that add to its allure. I've come across tales of seasoned collectors who, during routine coin hunts at banks or estate sales, have unexpectedly discovered one of these misstrikes nestled among stacks of ordinary quarters. Picture the rush of excitement when, after years of searching, you finally spot that unique doubling effect, a secret only revealed under the right conditions. Such stories remind us that coin collecting is as much about the thrill of the hunt as it is about the coin itself. Every misstruck 1988 quarter is a small piece of serendipity, a testament to the fact that history is full of surprises waiting to be uncovered by those with a discerning eye. Of course, condition plays a pivotal role in the value of any collectible coin, and the 1988 quarter is no exception. In the world of numismatics, a coin's state can be the difference between a cherished memento and a high-value investment. A 1988 quarter in uncirculated condition, with every fine detail intact, including that coveted doubling effect, can be a showstopper. Conversely, coins that have been well worn from years of circulation tend to lose some of those intricate details, and while they still hold historical significance, they generally attract lower premiums. This disparity has led many collectors to invest in proper storage and preservation techniques, ensuring that their finds remain as close to mint condition as possible. It's a delicate balance of art and science, appreciating the coin's inherent beauty while meticulously maintaining its condition for future generations of collectors. What truly makes the 1988 quarter a standout, however, is the broader conversation it sparks within the collecting community. There's an ongoing debate about the fine line between what constitutes a true error versus a mere variation in the production process. Some purists argue that the doubling effect elevates the coin to the realm of art, a rare moment when an imperfection becomes an asset. Others see it as a fascinating byproduct of the mint's evolution, a small wrinkle in an otherwise flawless production run. Regardless of where you stand on the issue, there's no denying that this coin has a story that transcends its metal composition. It represents a moment in time when the fusion of advanced technology and human oversight created something unexpectedly beautiful, a piece that continues to capture the imagination of collectors everywhere. The more I delve into the lore of the 1988 quarter, the more I appreciate the blend of modern manufacturing and historical significance that it embodies. Each coin carries with it a trace of the past, a reminder that even in an era defined by efficiency, the unpredictable nature of production can yield treasures that defy expectations. Whether you're a veteran collector who has witnessed the evolution of coin minting over decades or a newer enthusiast eager to learn the ropes, there's something profoundly satisfying about uncovering a piece of history in the palm of your hand. It's these moments, when you discover that a seemingly ordinary quarter is actually a rare misstrike, that reaffirm why we continue to cherish and pursue the art of coin collecting. As we wrap up our deep dive into the 1988 quarter, it becomes clear that this coin is much more than just a means of transaction. It's a miniature work of art, a relic of a pivotal time in minting history, and a tangible reminder that even in the most advanced systems, a touch of imperfection can lead to incredible value. This coin embodies the spirit of discovery, the joy of the hunt, and the thrill of finding beauty in the unexpected. And while today we've only scratched the surface of what makes the 1988 quarter such a coveted collectible, I hope you're as inspired as I am by its rich history and unique charm. That's our look at the 1988 US quarter dollar, a coin that continues to captivate with its blend of historical nuance, technical precision, and a serendipitous twist that makes it all the more fascinating. Up next, we'll transition to another remarkable coin with its own distinct story, so stay tuned for even more insights into these treasures of American history. Transitioning from the unexpected charm of the 1988 quarter, let's step into another intriguing chapter of American coinage, the 1982 US quarter dollar. In 1982, the US Mint was embracing a blend of modern precision and the timeless artistry of its long-established designs. While many coins from this era might appear uniform at first glance, those with subtle production quirks reveal a fascinating story beneath the surface, inviting seasoned collectors to take a closer look. Picture yourself holding a 1982 quarter in your hand. At first, you notice the familiar, dignified profile of George Washington, a portrait that has long been a symbol of American heritage. Yet, with a careful inspection, you might detect that something is ever so slightly different. During this period, the Mint was experimenting with new die technology and updated production methods, which, in some cases, resulted in an intriguing effect, a barely perceptible doubling of certain details. For instance, the lettering on Liberty or even the subtle curves of Washington's hair may reveal a faint second impression, a delightful anomaly that isn't immediately obvious to the casual observer. These subtle variations, born from the interplay of precision machinery and the occasional human oversight, have since elevated select specimens to coveted status among experts. The early 80s were a time of both innovation and evolution at the Mint. As the facility transitioned to newer, more efficient processes, it continued to honor the traditional designs that collectors had grown to cherish over decades. The 1982 quarter captures that spirit perfectly. It's a reminder that even when technology is at its peak, there's always room for those small, unplanned touches that make each coin unique. And for collectors who've spent years honing their skills in spotting these minute details, a 1982 quarter with such a characteristic doubling isn't just a coin, it's a piece of art, a relic from a transformative era in coin production. One of the aspects that makes the 1982 quarter so compelling is its delicate balance between uniformity and uniqueness. On one hand, the coin adheres to the established design that has been refined over generations, showcasing Washington's steady gaze and the iconic reverse featuring the American eagle. On the other hand, the occasional misalignment or doubling of details adds an element of unpredictability, a subtle signature left behind by the minting process. This isn't a glaring error by any means, rather, it's an almost whisper-like variation that can only be appreciated through careful examination. For those in the know, this hidden nuance transforms an otherwise standard coin into a treasure that sparks conversation and admiration at every coin show and auction. Speaking of auctions, the market response to these rare 1982 quarters has been nothing short of remarkable. Coins exhibiting this faint doubling effect, particularly when preserved in pristine condition, have attracted considerable interest from collectors. In uncirculated specimens graded in higher MS conditions, the premium can range from several hundred to several $1,000s, depending on the clarity and extent of the error. Auction houses have documented spirited bidding sessions where the subtle charm of a perfectly struck yet uniquely misaligned quarter commanded impressive sums. This market dynamic reinforces the idea that even the smallest detail, when it comes to historical coins, can dramatically influence its overall appeal and value. There's also an air of serendipity that surrounds the 1982 quarter. Many collectors share tales of unexpected discoveries, finding one of these rare variants tucked away in an old jar or hidden among a pile of seemingly ordinary change. I recall one particular story of a longtime enthusiast who, during a routine reorganization of his collection, unearthed a set of 1982 quarters that, upon closer inspection, turned out to feature the subtle doubling in the inscriptions. That moment of discovery, where an everyday coin transformed into a coveted piece of numismatic history, is a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary treasures are hidden in plain sight. It's this element of surprise, the thrill of the unexpected, that continues to fuel the passion for coin collecting. The condition of a 1982 quarter plays a crucial role in its desirability. Coins that have enjoyed a life of limited circulation, retaining their sharp details and luster, become especially prized. An uncirculated example with that elusive doubling effect is not just a collector's item, it's a statement piece that encapsulates an era of technical innovation. Conversely, quarters that have been heavily circulated tend to lose some of the fine details that make these errors stand out. The wear can obscure the secondary impressions, diminishing the coin's overall impact and reducing its market value. This stark difference has led many collectors to invest in state-of-the-art preservation techniques, ensuring that their rare finds remain in near-mint condition for years to come. Delving deeper into the historical backdrop of the 1982 quarter, it's fascinating to consider the Mint's internal efforts during that period. The early 80s were marked by a drive to modernize and streamline production, which sometimes meant pushing the limits of machinery and design standards. This environment, where old and new collided, created the perfect setting for those delightful anomalies that collectors now eagerly seek. While the doubling effect might be seen as a minor hiccup in an otherwise flawless production run, it serves as a tangible reminder of the Mint's evolution, a moment when precision met the unpredictable quirks of industrial production. For those who appreciate the finer points of numismatic history, the 1982 quarter also offers a glimpse into the technological challenges of its time. In an era before computer-aided quality control became ubiquitous, even the most advanced mechanical processes were not immune to the occasional imperfection. That slight doubling in the details is a subtle nod to the challenges faced by mint workers, whose expert hands and vigilant eyes sometimes couldn't catch every nuance. In a way, each of these coins tells a story of the human element in mass production, a reminder that behind every perfectly minted piece lies a complex dance of machinery and craftsmanship. As you run your fingers over a well-preserved 1982 quarter, it's impossible not to marvel at how a coin can encapsulate so much history and sentiment in such a small form. The interplay of light and shadow on its surface, the crisp lines that define Washington's profile, and that almost imperceptible doubling, all of these details converge to form a narrative that spans decades of American history. For the experienced collector, it's not merely about acquiring a coin, it's about owning a piece of that history, a tangible link to the era when the U.S. Mint was evolving at an unprecedented pace. There's also a community aspect to this discovery. When collectors come together to discuss these rare 1982 quarters, it's more than just a transaction, it's a shared appreciation for the intricacies of coin production. Conversations at coin shows and online forums often revolve around the nuances of these errors, with each collector offering insights into their own experiences and discoveries. This camaraderie, built on a mutual respect for the craft and a passion for uncovering hidden details, is what makes the world of numismatics so vibrant and enduring. Now that we've delved deep into the story and subtle charm of the 1982 U.S. quarter dollar, we've seen how a coin can encapsulate an era, serve as a symbol of innovation, and even carry a whisper of a manufacturing anomaly that turns it into a rare collectible. Up next, we'll transition to another captivating chapter of American coinage, the 1963 U.S. quarter dollar, where history and mystery meet once again in the world of numismatics.
Have you ever found an old quarter in your pocket and wondered if it's worth more than just 25 cents? Well, if that quarter is from 1965, you might be holding a piece of American history. But why is the 1965 quarter so special? What makes it different from the quarters that came before it? Stick around, because today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1965 U.S. quarter, the coin that changed everything. To understand why the 1965 quarter is so significant, we need to go back to the early 1960s. At that time, U.S. quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But there was a big problem: silver prices were rising rapidly. This was due to increasing industrial demand and global economic changes. The value of the silver in a quarter was becoming higher than the coin's face value. This led to hoarding, and soon, silver coins started disappearing from circulation. By 1964, the situation had reached a crisis point. People were melting down silver coins for their metal value, and banks were running out of quarters. The U.S. government had to act fast. To solve the problem, President Lyndon B. Johnson and Congress decided to remove silver from quarters and dimes entirely. In 1965, the U.S. Mint introduced a new quarter made of copper and nickel, with a copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel. This new design would ensure that quarters remained in circulation while keeping costs under control. But here's the interesting part: some 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on silver planchets left over from 1964. These rare silver quarters are worth a fortune today. More on that later. The design of the 1965 quarter remained the same as earlier Washington quarters. On the obverse, we see George Washington's profile, designed by John Flanagan in 1932. The reverse features an eagle with outstretched wings, holding arrows and olive branches, symbols of war and peace. But there's something missing. If you look closely, you'll notice that there is no mint mark on the 1965 quarter. That's because, for the first time in decades, the U.S. Mint decided to remove mint marks to prevent collectors from hoarding certain coins. Now, here's the exciting part: some 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on silver planchets. These rare coins can be worth thousands of dollars today. But how can you tell if you have one? Check the edge. If your quarter has a solid silver edge with no copper stripe, it could be a silver planchet error. Weigh the coin. A normal clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while a silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams. A precise scale can help you determine if your quarter is special. The sound test. Silver quarters make a distinct ringing sound when tapped on a hard surface, unlike copper-nickel quarters, which produce a duller sound. The magnet test. Silver is not magnetic, so if your coin reacts to a magnet, it's not silver. If you think you have a 1965 silver quarter, get it checked by a professional coin dealer or grading service. Regular 1965 quarters in circulated condition are only worth their face value, 25 cents. But if you find one in uncirculated condition, it could be worth $5 to $10. High-grade examples can sell for over $100. But the real jackpot is the 1965 silver quarter. Depending on its condition, a genuine silver era quarter can be worth anywhere from $3,000 to $15,000. Some rare specimens have even sold for over $30,000. So, the next time you come across a 1965 quarter, take a closer look. You might be holding a hidden treasure. Even if it's not a rare silver quarter, it's still an important part of U.S. history, marking a major transition in American coinage. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating coin stories. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Let us know in the comments below.